Hello. Welcome to the Consistently Rolling Show. I am your girl, Consistent.
And I am in Lil. Look at my shirt that I got on today. Check that out. You know what this is from? This is from a YouTuber called Security 10.
It's called what?
Security 10.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, well, they do a lot of UFO. It's ran by Tyler. The kid named Tyler. Look him up. Security 10.
Okay. Hey, you guys, we told you we were coming today. I should have probably told you the time, but I'll definitely let you guys know the time for Saturday when we talk about the gods of Egypt. But because we were supposed to do a review on that, wasn't we? I forgot. But anyway.
Yeah.
We're here today, so if you guys want to come join us, please join us. We're just having a little chit chat today.
Come join me.
Yeah,
I got the Grand Money.
So what we diving into today?
Oh man, let's see. Let's talk about relationships. I was talking with a friend of mine. This is slight feedback or a slight echo.
Sorry. You still here?
Can you hear me?
Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Here.
You're frozen. Uh-oh. I don't know if you listeners can hear me.
I can hear
You
you.
good? Okay, good. All right,
Yeah,
so talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about the whole building collapse thing and testing out the bombs in Florida, on the coast of Florida, and that's the cause of the collapse. Everything's a conspiracy. But we touched on some other stuff. We was talking about a place called Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know if you ever heard of that. There's a very interesting story. It's one of the most haunted places. It's very interesting to look into. But we was on that topic about Skinwalker Ranch. We talking about the Black Eyed Kids. You ever heard about that before?
Mm-hmm. No.
You didn't hear about the Black Eyed Kids? So the Black Eyed Kids.
No, I haven't. So what are the Black Eyed Kids?
So right around in New Mexico, Arizona, areas, motorists been reporting like when a car breaks down, stuff, these kids walk just in old clothing, and they went their eyes completely black. They were asking for car people, or come out nighttime asking to come into your home. And a lot of times, like, not home from my home. People call them demons. People call them aliens. So like that. I've never experienced a Black Eyed Kid before. But if out there ever experienced one, do not invite them in. There's a delay there.
I see.
And so it's a very interesting story about that.
Okay. We're gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think it's my end for some reason.
Oh yeah.
What else would you talk about? And Lil?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, let me see something. But these are the private chats in the comments.
Is there some in here?
No. Nope.
Okay.
All right, so what else we're going to talk about here?
I don't know. Let's talk about the TikTok news.
Yeah, what's going on at TikTok?
And TikTok has been talking about a lot of things. For one, what I'm trying to pull up now is actually that map that I was telling you about.
Yes.
Of the world in its entirety. But TikTok has been talking about a lot of things. One of the things that they have been talking about a lot lately, or should I say the topic of communication right now that they've been talking about a lot, is devil worship. Selling your souls for the devil. So we're back on celebrities doing salacious things. I don't know if you saw, but I think yesterday it was the thing going around about Beyonce and Sasha Fierce and her facial expressions turning demonic. Today they were it was a group of rappers that were having set communication, and they were talking about different things, how people are being sold, or they're selling their souls for the devil, and
Right.
no nothing against the gay community or LGBTQT plus, or I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, excuse me, nothing against you guys, but they're saying that there are things that men, in particular straight men, wouldn't do but are doing against what they would normally do for money and fame.
Okay. All right. So I guess my first question is, how can one soul, one soul, these fools?
So that right there in itself is exactly what I am trying to figure out. I have tried to get in contact with some people, that are into music or part of the music industry and things of that nature. Like, because I'm curious to know that too. Like, are you sharing a body? Is it anything like schizophrenia? You know how they have different personalities? Well, not really schizophrenia, but it's called multiple personality disorder. Those people where they have different personalities and they're different people. Could it come from a traumatic experience of things that they do? Is it an expression because they're doing things for fame and fortune that is outside of what their morality is? Like, I don't, that's the whole thing that I'm trying to get a grasp on when it comes to that.
I think I'm sitting here thinking, what if it's hypnosis? What if these people?
So you mean to tell me these people who are talking to us, right? I'm just saying these certain celebrities, because I can't first say that it is all celebrities. So you're telling me that these certain celebrities are under hypnosis?
Yeah. So let me explain.
And then what? An evil spirit comes in possession of them?
No, it's not spiritual at all. It's not spiritual at all. It's they often talk about the MK Ultra program. You ever heard of that?
Heard about what? It's a slight delay. Have I heard about what again?
MK Ultra.
Okay, I have heard something about that. Yes.
So, and a lot of rappers and singers start. So let's think about this for a second. So how does hypnosis work? You go to a show, a guy pulls a fan on the stage, hypnotize them, and make them bark like a chicken, bark like a dog, bark like a chicken, correct? And he often so what if someone charges these stars enormous amount of money to be put under as if they're being possessed or like a soul, like Sasha Fierce. So when I'm taking on the stage, I watch people. He says, normally I'm a very shy, quiet person. Stage, it just kicks right on. It's so much that even her facial appears like. What if everything we're seeing, this thing falls under the MK Ultra program?
I wouldn't deny that. I wouldn't deny that at all.
I mean, if you just want to make logical, then we as humans call it Satanism and has and all this kind of stuff like that. Because if you want to get to the spiritual side, there's a great force keeping them and us anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what was that? What happened?
That's me.
Okay. So yeah. So what if everything we're witnessing when it comes to like Beyonce and all of them that was on, even movie stars who act different, Jim Carrey, all of them that just change, even presidents, congressmen, you know, people of a public figure in power has to be in a certain way or manner to face or to perform, even athletes, you know.
So here's my thing, okay? So there's a lot of stuff that comes with that. And the MK Ultra thing. And the only other thing that I have like a problem with is all of the other things that come with it. You know what I'm saying? Like they had to sacrifice family members or someone close to them, or they did salacious things, like I said, that would be beyond what they normally do in order to have this fame and fortune. So then my question is, why do they feel like if say you're under the hypnosis, okay, cool. Why do they feel like they need to degrade a person in that manner just for fame? Because the things that we
They're
hear, you
degrading
get what I'm
themselves.
saying?
They're not the people who's doing the program are not degrading these individuals or volunteering themselves. They don't kidnap you. Well, they can, but they don't kidnap you and say, I'm going to put you under hypnosis. These stars and these people are going to these people, go, listen, I know I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to sing from into my heart, but I just can't. It'll cost you about $100 million, you know, and or you know something else, and I'll just put you under this program, and you be able to perform. Or
Okay, so like, okay, but just get to it. Get what I'm saying. Let's start off like this. All right, let's check it. Let's just say let's talk about what's his name, Kanye West, right? Kanye West states, I sold my soul to the devil, right? I know he says, I know it was a crappy deal, but at least it came with a few toys like a Happy Meal. Okay, cool. Kanye West to the black community is a total genius. And he is, you know what I'm saying? A musical genius. But at the same time, years later, we see Kanye West have a total fallout. Like, I mean, a total fallout. And then we've also seen where he gets back himself back in order, or his mindset back in order, and now he's diagnosed with bipolar. Like, is that really true? You get what I'm saying? We've seen the Ellen DeGeneres.
why wouldn't it be true?
Well, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I've watched the Ellen DeGeneres interview that he did with her, I think, when his second child was born, and how he just didn't look like himself or feel like himself. And then also, I've also heard in this TikTok community where there was a dude who actually did an interview, and he was talking about how they clone these celebrities and how they have several of them. You know what I'm saying? And it's a piece of form of the certain part of the frontal lobe where they have all the memory of that person. And if that clone doesn't work, they got another one for it. So, I mean, it's a whole bunch to that.
Yeah, it's basically the same program. The MK Ultra, cloning, all of them does the same thing. And I know cloning is real because they had conventions where they sell these things called sleeves, which is actual body part, whole bodies, where you can download your consciousness into this sleeve. They call them sleeves. They don't want to call them clones or whatever. I guess they didn't want to put themselves out there. Activists that were trying to stop this. So I mean, this stuff is happening, but you know, you got to think about it. Again, when Kanye West flew off the handle, he had a major breakdown. And next thing you know, he's standing in the lobby with Donald Trump. Cool, like he's gone, like he's not even there. Is that the clone? Is that the byproduct of MK Ultra? Meaning that you know, it's a side effect, because everything has a side effect. You know, so is it possible that this program they're running, this hypnotized program that they're running, has a side effect. Meaning, you only stay hypnotized for so long before you start to come out of it and realize you can't tell the difference between reality and what's fake in your own little world. Therefore, it causes some type of psychosis, delusional, or whatever the case may be. So it could be like you said, it's a number of things. But what I know it really isn't. It ain't the actual Satan, the devil, or spiritual. I think it's more man trying to play God.
Like we had this conversation. Close the door, please. We had the conversation of we don't believe. Well, I don't believe that the devil is a set person. You know what I'm saying? Because I can say that the industry that they're working for is the people, because it's influenced by several people who have got together and had a meeting and decided these are the set things that I need you and want you to do. You're going to go by these guidelines or not. And within that field of the community or corporation, it's people who made that decision. It's not the actual devil like, hey, this is what I need you to do. So
yeah, exactly. And so, when I'm out here doing these things, I try to keep my what do you call that? Imagination for running wild, because us as humans, that's one of the things that kicks off is our imagination. I can sit here and tell you a story about a little boy and a puppy, and instantly your imagination will start kicking in. Instantly. And it's the same thing about watching a movie. It's like as if you're into the movie. It's as you really feel what the thing's going on, and that responsible.
But you're telling me, okay, so you saw the same exact video that I saw of Beyonce.
Yeah. Yes.
And you saw the facial structure, which
I think the eye color,
right? But it could have been. Let's just give it the benefit of the doubt of our imagination not running wild. Okay. So it could have been just the fact that she was moving so fast and the camera just didn't catch her in the way that it did catch her in a good light.
Exactly. And don't keep in mind that humans can physically change their forms if they're in a certain stress state. Physically, you can change your facial expressions if you're stressed. Like she was in a state of complete stress. She's performing. She's trying to stay focused. There are people screaming. There's loud noises. She's doing what she got to do. So all her facial expressions, because she was making facial expressions the entire time. But there are certain parts where you catch one facial expression like, whoa, what the heck? It didn't even look like her. Like at one point, her throat got completely large. But that could be her moving a certain way, swelling her neck right off the pixelation of the camera and the lighting and what's going on, what you're watching it on, everything like that. And then keep in mind that we live in a simulation, whereas though we are watching through the eyes of another camera lens, which is our eyeball. So things can appear. It can appear differently, and again, we can physically change our faces. You ever see somebody so mad that they didn't look like themselves? Man, you don't look like yourself. Like physically, do not look like yourself because it's under a certain type of distress. So all those factors can play in. Before I say,
but if I was to say that okay. So we're being accountable for all the lenses, all the man-made things, and everything else that could have took place. But then on the other hand, it absolutely looked like something had took possession over her.
I agree. I totally agree with you. When I saw it the first time, my jaw dropped. Like what? So I had to take the clip, put it on a bigger screen, and this is what I do. This is what I do. I don't take it for what it's. When somebody hands me something, I look at it like, oh wow, they look like a demon. No, I take it and I examine it. You have to examine, and then when you examine it, you got to put every factor. We're living in this world that you have to examine things. You can't take it at face value because even scientists have to rewrite books every 10 years because for that 10-year period, this was the absolute truth. And then 10 years later, somebody come along and go, no, that's not right. It was this. Oh, here's another 10 years of it. So, and we had to take it. So we got to be careful because when I was a young man, I was chased, woken up in my dream, out of my sleep, held down, and blown in my ear and taunted by things that I could not physically see. But I would have the physical marks on my body. The physical marks on my body came from me running out of my bedroom. I still have marks on my legs, have a mark on my eye right here where I ran into a dresser, put an indentation in my face. So I have it in my face today as an older man. This was when I was a younger kid. My grandmother told me, and my grandma, bless her soul, she's Cherokee Indian. My grandmother told me, she says, do not run from them. They cannot physically hurt you. Only you can hurt you in this dimension by reacting to what they're doing to you. And this is what ended up here. This is why, I don't run from anything or even show any fear when I see something. Like I explained to you the other day, I was in the shower and I washed my head, and out of my peripheral, I saw a full-size kid standing in the doorway, and I was the only one home. My kid was gone, grandma, my roommate was at work with his girlfriend and family and everything. Nobody was here. And I saw a kid as if I'm looking at you. Now, again, at that moment, I kept my fear under control. I kept my imagination under control. But those two things that make me freak the fuck out. I mean, sorry for cussing, freak out, And if you think about if you see something scary, what are the things that make you freak out? Your imagination, your fear. And then what happens? You're gonna hurt yourself, run into something, cut your own self, everything. I think being touchy, but yet, you're beating yourself up. Just the ghost did this to me. But so I'm not saying that these entities, these beings, these things are non-existent. They do exist. My own experience, seeing what I saw as a young man growing up, the type of family I come from, they do exist. But when I do come across something like the videos or the reptilian videos where physically their eyes change, where instead of having regular round eyeballs, they have to split like that. Or some reptilians breathe through the eyes with gills. It blinks quick. It blinks quicker than you blink your eye. You have to slow down the camera to catch them. So, and here it is, the evidence right in front of you. So, but at the same time, I always try to debunk what I'm looking at, examine it very carefully, and put everything into factor before I put a stamp on it saying, "Yep, that's what it is." But what I do know what it not is, that I cannot, based off religion, that I raised up in the church just like you and all that kind of stuff until I decided not to do anymore. That when it comes to certain type of spiritual things, that you just had to you had to take a step back. You really, really got to step back, because it's kind of hard for me to soak up where I can walk to an entity, go, "I'll sell you my soul if you give me 30 years on this planet." What would who's the entity, and what would the entity do with energy that can't be controlled, created, and or destroyed? Literally, that's what our spirits are. Is a part of a form of energy that can't be created and or destroyed. It could just manifest. What would that entity do with the same type of material that it's made out of? Energy, light.
But then that's the thing that I don't understand, because if we was to go back into like Egyptian time, and the reason why I reference this so much is because I guess that's the closest to other gods that I know about. Okay. So if we was to go back into them, they believed in reincarnation.
Yes.
Okay. So, but and also we know that there are demons that walk upon us. You know what I'm saying? I was raised not to believe that the dead lives, because we were told that the dead knows nothing. But at the same time, again, we have demons that walk upon us, and according to the Bible, some of them did possess certain bodies.
Yeah. Who was that? It was who was that Egyptian god? It wasn't Thoth. It wasn't Horus. One of them, in the halls of Amentes, the halls of Amentes, there are avatars, bodies down there. He would go back every so many thousand of years to change out his body, to come back to rule his kingdom. He did it for hundreds of thousands. That might have been Thoth that did that. That might have been Thoth. Yeah, it was Thoth. He went to the halls of Amenti, so he transformed his soul to another avatar and everything. So it's like, almost like what we doing today with these sleeves. Like, is it possible? Like, is that even possible? And again,
I mean, like, remember I did, I guess a couple of episodes ago when we were talking about the reptilians. Go back and look at some of the pictures of different people from the past that look like the people that we have in the present, like Michelle Obama and Beyonce and Jay-Z. And I mean, Ellen DeGeneres, who was, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it could be two things. Like, that could definitely be your family member. And you know what I'm saying? And you just happen to look like that person, because like we say, everybody has some type of twin, whether it's in your family or just somebody walking amongst this earth. Or two, is it that you are definitely coming back as yourself over and over and over and over again? And if that's the case, then it would make sense when they say that not technically they sold their soul to the devil, but the fact that these people are coming back over and over and over again. And they're just possessing, or demons are possessing or taking control over their body for that period of time. And that's only because they asked them to, because we have free will. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. And again, it comes to, we're human, so I don't put anything past a human. We do a lot of things. We all know we're living on a slave planet. We're all slaves, black, white, and I don't
but
care.
at the same time, let's be all the way real. Us humans are not dumb as we really possess ourselves to be. We're smarter than the average bear, but we just allow ourselves to accept certain things as is for face value, because again, we were taught not to test, not to ask questions, and do as we're told. So but now, as stuff is unveiling, we are asking those questions. The internet is our help and our guide. We kind of had an intuition of knowing that's just what it was, because we felt it in our gut that that's just what it was. So we're not as dumb as, you know what I'm saying, as we possess ourselves or say, man, humans are dumb. No, they're not. They're actually smarter than the average bear. It's just that they don't trust their own self and their own instinct. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, somebody telling me to do not question a certain individual and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to question it.
You better not.
That makes me question more, because you can't. My mother birthed me, so I have questions for her, and if she's telling me I should not question her, then you're going to have to question. You have to answer, because I want to know.
But you gotta think about it. It comes from inheritance, and you have to. And I'm sorry to keep saying it like this, but it's very so inheritance, generation after generation after generation, and somewhere in that generation where it started, I personally believe it had to do with what Master said. You don't question, and then it went to the don't question me because I'm the authority, and this is what I said and what I say as well, and I'm the adult. You don't have opinion on anything of the matter from the age of 0 to 18. Like, do as I say, not as I'm told.
It makes you a slave master, and the individual you're talking to is a slave, and this is what we need to get out of. This is why these kids are so rebellious nowadays at 11, 12, 13 years old, cussing out their moms and dads, leaving home and all that kind of stuff, not caring, smoking, because I always gave all 9 of my children the freedom to speak, including my little young one. If he's upset, instead of him allowing him to walk away based off of my word, because he asked, can he go outside with his friends? And I'm like, no. Can you see them? No, you cannot. So he turned around, he walked away. But then I called him back, because I feel so that he has something to say. And then, although I give my word is law in this house. And if I say no, my 5-year-old cannot go outside by himself, it is what it is. But I don't want to strip him of that. He has a right to say, but why, Daddy? My friends are right there. What do I do wrong? Can we negotiate? He has a right at 5 to say, negotiate. Can he go outside by himself while I'm here on the street? And so when he came back, I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, nothing. I'm like, no, what's wrong? And that's what he says, well, I want to go outside with my friends. And we talked about it. Now, right now, he's out with his friend. So I would love to see society get to that point where, as though that instead of us being the rulers, we should be the teachers. Like, no, you
Yeah, but
can't
at the
do that.
same time, it is legitly kind of hard because I mean,
It
I
is.
can talk to my children. I am okay. So I'm gonna say that I'm a flip flopper. Okay, so I'm not really. Where I used to be very hard on my child. You know,
Mhm.
I've come to learn that that's not the way to go. But I've also had a line of open communication.
Yeah.
So for me, it's I want to know what's wrong with you, but then there's no putting of the foot down when it comes to me. Like I may say it, this is what's going to happen, but
Right.
I'm never to follow through with that. And that's only because I feel like that I shouldn't have to keep punishing you for something that you know you're supposed to do.
Yeah. But they're
So
kids.
in a way, but you got to look at it like this too, though. Like Caucasian people, sorry to say
Mhm.
it like this, or this is just the category that I see it. So please don't, please
Right.
don't judge my heart. But they were the people. Didn't I say don't do that? Da, 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 and that child would then
Mhm.
in return talk to that parent a certain kind of way because that's how they felt.
Right.
That little
Right.
timeout, whatever. You think about what you did, that didn't do anything.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like, what do you know? What I'm saying, what do we do? Because at one point, I don't want to put my hands on you, and
Right.
I do know that I have to take some things from you, and I really don't want to do that because, to be quite honest, that means
Mhm.
you're in my space and in my face now. So
Mhm.
it's like, what
So
do you do?
see that's the ego right there. So so when people do certain things, like I have 9 children. Some of them I had to put hands on. Some of them I just give a look. I just look at them. They break down. They know they're wrong. I'm out. I'm done. I want nothing to do with this. Um.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to certain children, like some kids you can put on timeout. Like you get on timeout and you think about what you've done because it's over. Dylan, right now, my little one, if he does something bad, which he does all the time because he's a kid, kids do. We was at Rudders and the little penny slot they have on the side of us. Like, company they changed there. And if you come in there, the next one come in like, oh, I need a penny short. They just take out the little thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
basically free something on the side of the counter. Dylan's standing there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching him. The cashier's looking at him. He reaches up with his hand. He takes the penny. He balls his fist up. And I'm standing there smiling at the cashier, and she's smiling at me. I'm like, I know he got it. She says, yeah, it's no big deal. I'm like, no, it's a very big deal because that can turn into, this in the future. So I said, what do you have in your hand? He says, nothing. I said, you're lying. So he showed me the penny. I said, does it belong to you? And I went this whole speech with him, When we got back to the car, I took the tablet from him and said, you're punished. You're done. He got really upset, screamed out loud. Now, my first reaction was to punch him in his mouth. Like, boy, you think you're screaming at, as a parent. But I stood there and I watched him scream. And then when he see me not react, the way he knew I would react, kind of like he looked at me. I says, when you're done, now your punishment is even longer because what you did was wrong, blah, 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 blah. And keep in mind, he's only 5, So, and I stuck to my word. I kept tabs away from him. I kept him in he's in the back seat. I didn't speak to him, nothing. That was his punishment. And when we got to our destination, I got back out of the car and opened the door for him. He says, Daddy, I'm sorry. Some kids you can do that. Where though my other son, you, you got to go to the hood with this boy, say you got to, break it down like you can't do it. And no matter what you say, how hard you do it, you put the iron foot down, he still do what he does regardless until he gets to a certain age. Go, I'm sorry, it was me, it wasn't you, blah, 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 blah. So,
But when will that age be? Because you got some.
when they're in their lowest, it's not a particular age, it's not what age, it's when or where this comes about. Because for him, he was at his lowest point, and it gave him more time to think amongst himself. There were no longer no other distractions around him. It's the distraction that got him caught up. When those distractions were taken away from him, he had nobody else to talk to but himself. And then
So I have this question then.
Mhm.
So, in a sense, the timeout thing or the timeout method that they try to do is for them to have a timeout to sit and think about what they've done.
Yes, yeah, yeah. It works for some. It works for nothing because we're all not created equally. Nobody on this planet, even twins, are equal. Even conjoint twins are not equal. They're different. Each one of them are different. So, and that's why I tell a lot of parents that there's no book written out here on parenting. You can go to the library or internet and find
They have
something
several
on
books.
parenting.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
but it doesn't apply to your kids. It doesn't apply to your kids.
I know
It
that.
applies
I
to
know
one
that,
of
but
your kids. But to me, they don't write no book on it. Parenting and everything what we do with our children is instinctive. It's herited. How do you raise your individual child and your individual children individually? You can't raise 5 kids all the exact same way. You can't. My household, when my mother made dinner, whatever's on that stove, we all ate or we all didn't eat. So 4 out of 5 may love what mom cooked, but that one might, I want a peanut butter jelly. No, I just cooked over that stove, blah, 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 blah. But today, now it's like, y'all hungry? Yeah, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And you make it. It's the same. So the parenting then is way different than the parenting now. So there's no book written on parenting.
So yeah, that's true. So that is how you basically base your parenting from. You either take some of the things that you got from your parents
Right.
and incorporate it in yours, or you do away with it because you just felt like it was horrible for you. You know what I'm saying? But then,
Right.
like I said, but you do, like you said, you got 5 different personalities, and while you try to treat them all equally, you do know that there are 5 different personalities, and that's
Yeah.
where. Well, I'm gonna say for me, that's where the misbalance come from because I want to discipline each and every one of you the same, but I know I can't.
Right.
So,
It creates the conflict. Exactly.
yeah, it does. So.
You ever get all your kids together
And
you're
then you get
punishing
to
them
the
all.
thing where they get older, right?
Right.
And then so I'm saying this because they get older and they have that conversation. And why did you do me like this? And you didn't do this person like that. And like it's like what I mean. You can't never satisfy people as much as you try your hardest to. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that the whole the Beyonce thing, all the stars, all the kinds of stuff, is it demonic to a degree? Yes, I do believe that it is demonic of my own personal experiences. These things, these forces, these energies does exist. I would not acknowledge this if I didn't experience it myself.
So how can you say that they exist but then don't? Well, I'm not gonna say you don't believe in Jesus Christ because you do believe in a certain aspect.
I just don't put him on that. See, folks, let me explain. There is divine power we call God, the creator of all.
Everybody does not call that God, though.
I know that, but everybody gets Jesus and God mixed up because they call Jesus God or the Lord, but then they call God God. You know what I'm saying? Jesus is God. No, no. It says when it comes to the divine, the one that you feel in your very soul right now, that power, that's the one I acknowledge to the day I'm off this planet or my body no longer exists on this planet. But when it comes to anything else below that, especially when when man has the power of interpretation, meaning man is dictating these things to us about certain individuals below that higher power, I'm gonna laugh at you walking the other way.
So time out. Because it has to come from somewhere, right? So basically, it's generational. Wait a minute, it's generational text passed on throughout the years.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So we have had the privilege of reading certain things.
Yes.
You and I. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We have read certain things that let us know that there is absolutely some type of Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna just go within the Emerald Tablets.
Mm-hmm.
So who we perceive to have been here the absolute longest, right? Thoth, right? You're in agreement with me, okay?
Yep.
He has been here the absolute longest. And in these emerald tablets, he talks about him leaving his planet, him seeing his star or sun die. He saw that. He went searching and he went as far as he could go. And he was there with the spirit who has been there forever. He was there with the dweller, which was the man of men, right? The dweller. And the dweller was the only one that he could talk to before he was able to see the absolute light, which is God, right? Remember? So how can you absolutely be like, whoa, why can't we say that was Jesus? The dweller, the man of men.
So why don't we praise the Thoth then?
But Thoth is not a god.
Neither was Jesus.
But how can you say? But you wouldn't know that because the dweller, the spirit, the dweller, and the divine light has been here forever. So let's just say it like this: the divine light created that specific dweller, which would be then said Jesus, who was the man of men, who God, the divine light, decided, hey, we're going to make man in our own image. And that this is why Jesus had to die for our sins, because we were his gift.
But that creates a conflict. Jesus died for our sins, but yet we're born in sin. Which one is it?
What do you mean?
You said Jesus died for our sins.
Right. He created us, right?
And died for our sins.
Well, let's put it this way. Because God has the absolute power of everything. But we were created. So basically, we were a toy for Jesus, in a sense.
We were what?
We were toys for Jesus, in a sense. You know how you create a toy for a kid?
So he's a slave then. A slave master.
That's how you would put it.
But okay, so let's take it off topic. Okay, so again.
No, this is why I'm saying that, because at the end of the day, all right, let me just get to my point of what I'm trying to say. At the end of the day, all texts talk about three different people or set divine that was in there in the beginning. So
and one of them lived on the planet.
Maybe we could just call it Jesus. No, I didn't say he lived on the planet. That's not what we're saying.
Thoth left this planet and watched his star die.
Planet and went far beyond as far as he could go. So basically, that means he went all the way to where God, absolute light, is. And when he got there, he talked to a dweller, which we could say, quote unquote, was Jesus. Okay, the dweller, the man of men, right? And also, there was the spirit automatically there. Thoth felt the spirit because it was lingering it was lingering there. The spirit was always there. He talked to the dweller, okay, who was the first thing that God created, who has always been there since the spirit and God. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just saying, we do know that there's some type of Trinity. I'm just saying, for us, we don't know the name of this person. We don't know. We really don't know. Let's be clear. We really don't know.
Right. Because there's a point where, as though that all the information that you and I got came from man, but man told us that this is the word of a certain divine power. Correct? So that's what we believe. That's what we regurgitate.
I didn't think that Thoth was a divine person. I just think that Thoth was a person who had absolute wisdom.
I'm not saying it either. What I'm saying is that the reason why I don't take certain things literally because
I can't hear you.
Oh, you're clear. Can you hear me? Are the U.S. government trying to shut us up?
I can't hear you. Here we go.
They trying to shut us up.
And it is stuck and frozen. Like, I can see you. I can see you.
Wow.
But I'm watching it live and it is frozen.
It is crystal
clear. Do you want to go? Okay, we coming back now.
Yeah. Already text you. Already says crystal clear. There's no way. I got full signals. Everything's
But
crystal here.
it's not you. Because listen, me and you talking, like I told you, I'm watching it live as well. So me and
Yeah.
you talking, I could see you talking, I could not hear you. But me
No.
watching the live, that's why you see my eyes cut off every so often. It was frozen.
Yeah.
Like froze.
Crazy because you never left. Nothing. Nothing. I heard you crystal the whole time. Nothing ever left. Nothing ever happened. It's crazy. They don't want us to talk. We'll talk later. We'll talk
Yeah.
later.
Moving
What's
on.
wrong with Pastor? You want to shut up already? Come on. Listen, but you know, like I said, I have a problem. I have a problem when it comes to the word of man, especially when man controls our words, because we won't know. Because you and I have not went through none of these things. You and I have never been to a country where we found this thing, looked at it, translated it, and like, okay, we know this come from here because Thoth said this. Looking at Thoth's handwriting, literally looking at his handwriting, what he wrote in his book. But when you
I
have
will say that because also with the emerald tablets, we don't have all of them. So I will
exactly,
believe you with that one.
that's my
But
that's my
then this is why people urge us to learn different languages and go out and see the world, because there is different stories of everything. Like we assume, the whole world assumes that. All right, I'm gonna say it like this. I had a conversation with somebody and I was asking them, Jesus comes back. They said that everybody will know him, have a choice to believe in him, and who doesn't will perish. And I'm like, well, what about the people on the other side of the earth? Like, what if they don't know Jesus, but they've been good all their, you know what I'm saying? Like, pretty much morality good all their life. Will they not go to heaven? Oh yeah, then they will go to heaven, but then they'll stop at a planet and they'll, be able to do these certain things. But it's like, okay, so then it goes into like, well, what if they were good all this time but did this one thing wrong? You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, it's just too like,
I'm sorry for laughing, but it goes. I had a friend conversation, and basically same thing. Like him, I was talking about. He's like, all's going to perish. End times coming. Um, Jesus come because the gates of heaven is not that big, but the gates of hell is really wide. Because we all know that most people in this planet are going to go to hell because they don't know the name of Jesus or know Jesus. Like, well, what about different people in different cultures who never heard? How about the Mexican culture who prayed to the Mother Mary? They don't pray to a male god; they pray to a female god. And different. How about Buddhas and all that kind? He said they will all go to hell because they don't know Jesus. All right. So what if these individuals like you are completely good, never even harmed a fly? They're part of nature, earth, and everything. They pray to their God, their deities, but because they don't know the United States Jesus, us, the Christian Jesus, that they're going to perish. Yes, that sounds so cartoonish and imaginative.
it just doesn't sound like it. Yeah.
It's funny as hell. It makes me laugh. When you go on the road, when you say anything like, when Jesus come back, the whole world will see this deities come back. Everybody will know this Jesus. Now, is it possible that this entity will go to different forms to different nations? It is wrong for a God to come and go, you know who I am? Yes, go to heaven. You know who I am? No, I've been praying to that one. Oh yeah, I don't like that one. You go to hell. That sounds human. We're giving these beings human emotions, human attitudes, human ways, human judgment. It should come back. It should. We won't even know when these come back. It would just be. It would just be. You won't feel. There will be no pain and suffering and burning of the flesh and blah blah blah. And some of us will be left here. And then when we do take these spirits, we're going to take them to another planet in spiritual form or human form. I'm confused. Help me with that one. How are we going to go to another planet if we're not of the flesh anymore? What's the point of going to that planet?
Oh, listen, I was told that we would be lifted up. We're going to have wings like eagles. We're going to be able to fly to another planet. So
I'm going to get my honey.
This is the question. No, this is the question that I asked the person. Like, at the end of the day, in the blink of an eye, we can be in heaven. Just like that. Because Jesus, God has that power. Bam, we did.
Yep.
Why does it have to take us a whole week? And then we have to stop on a planet before we even get to heaven. Like, we done been through all this turmoil, all this pain and suffering, and yet we got to wait to still, like, and please don't get me wrong, people, I'm really not questioning God. I'm just questioning the things that we kind of believe. And trust me, I still get into these fearful states because of these are the things that I believed. You know what I'm saying? And as I talk about them now, it sounds like, what? Really? But this is what me and you used to get into it. Like, how dare you tell me that this is not what it is? Like, you're a liar. Like, you're the devil. And I think I used to call you that. Like, you're absolutely the devil. Like, talking this nonsense that you talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been involved. I've been involved with a lot of religion most of my life. I have family in the South. You know, I know how the Southerners are. They are all about their Jesus. I don't know, you know, and had long as stuff. Listen, I just want the listeners to know that I didn't just wake up one morning and go, I don't believe in this and I don't believe in that and blah 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 blah. This is something I'm in a period of a long period of time, extensive studying and going into reading texts, you know, and just doing a lot of stuff that makes you come to a certain conclusion. Again, do I pray to God? Yes, I do. Do I question God? God, why is this happening to me? What am I doing wrong? Blah, 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 blah. Show me the way. Guide me. I ask God for these things. I speak to God. I speak to God like I'm speaking to you. You know, sometimes I sit here with my grandma, you know, and this is no joke. And I will have a full-blown conversation with God. God, how you doing? Come please. I know you're busy. There are people being kidnapped and murdered around the world, but I need you right now to talk to me. Listen, this is going on with my life. Give me knowledge and wisdom. And I talk to God. And things work for me. Things work all the time. You know, and to tell me I should drop to my knees and face to the east and sacrifice a lamb and, you know, and you know, and starve myself for 7 days and all kinds of stuff like that. Like,
you know,
this is things that come from man.
Okay.
It comes from man.
Stop you.
No, you good.
That's the thing. That is the thing that I think for many of years, and I mean many of years, even when I was young, and I don't think I never asked the question because, again, you just don't question. Right. But it was like, we're not supposed to kill, but we killing animals. We're not supposed to kill, but we had to kill Jesus for us to be saved. Like,
right. We killed Jesus, murderers.
No, I'm just saying though. No. Like, I'm just like really saying, like, Adam and Eve sinned, like, left the garden, and they then had to sacrifice a lamb. They then had to kill something for God to acknowledge their sins.
Right, because that's man's interpretation. That is completely all man controls what we read, what we listen to, everything. Man, the powers to be. Just where we're getting our education. From birth to the grave, we're institutionalized. The minute you're born, you're taught to speak, walk, eat, sleep. Then, as you get older and you're doing these 4 things, you're taught to shut up, sit down, you know what I mean? Don't sleep because you got to go to work and you eat certain type of food. You know, then we go to these institutions, schools, colleges. They're institutions where you're taught how to survive and obey. That's it. What school teach you self-independent, freedom of speech? You do homework on freedom of speech, independency, starting your own business, you know, raising your family, how to maintain a family. Dad works, mom stays home, raise the kid. What schools don't teach that? That's instinct and what we got to do part of our survival. We're surviving. So everything that we're going through is constructed and dictated and lived out, given to us by man, including religion. They had the original text in their home.
But that's a question, like, but why though? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Why?
The answer's right in front of your face. People keep saying why. Think of the average man, your husband, boyfriend, best friend, whatever, a guy. What is it about a guy that pisses you off? They're controlling. They are demanding. They are never wrong. And this is a man telling you this. Okay? They're never wrong. They hate the point of being put last or not being put at all. You know, and what is the punishment behind all that? Fussing, fighting, destroying stuff, hurting you, hurting the kids. Men have this ego. Our egos are so high, we damn near took women out the Bible. Completely. We don't talk a little, we barely talk of Eve. It's all men. You know? So it is man ego, our instinct, our savage, our, you know, that puts us where we are. These guys are running the world. Not women, men are running the world. And these men are doing what we're experiencing today. This is why it's so fucked up. Had it be a woman, you know, which I should be a woman, which I think God is a woman, because we all birth one form where everything we know are birth, even plants are birth. Everything is birth from a female origin. Everything from a female origin. Okay.
So let's go with the analysis that God is a woman. Then why would she allow these men to be in charge?
Why do you women today allow men to do what they're doing today?
It's a good question. But I think for the most part, that's because that's what's taught.
It could be.
You get what I'm saying? Think about it. Yeah. We're supposed to be submissive.
But taught by who? By man. Everything. No matter how you come at it, it derives from man. No matter how you come at it. Everything derives from man. This is why I have a hard time swallowing any pill that you give to me, anybody gives to me. Because I'll take that pill and I'll examine it. I'll break it down to some molecular structure and find the origin of this pill. And if I go far enough, it leads back to a freaking man who has issues.
But where did they get these issues from? Because a lot of men is what for me.
Mm-hmm.
Even with my children, mm-hmm. I feel like we started off with a bunch of emotions, male and female. We all got a bunch of emotions. But even I'm going to put myself out there. Even for me, mm-hmm. After a certain amount of time, I'm asking my boys, "What are you crying for?" But I'm coddling my girls.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like their masculine or their feminine side is cut off like way too early. Like I've come to the point of understanding where I tell my boys, like, you can cry. I just want to know the reason why you're crying, because you're not crying for no reason. You need to be quiet. You know, that's how I am, I guess, with both sex. But in the beginning, it's like, what are you crying? Be quiet. Like, you shouldn't even be crying. And
right,
I can say,
but maybe they should be
as a grown woman now, listen, mm-hmm. My first relationship with my oldest son's father, may he rest in peace, to me, cry all the time. I'm not saying that he did, but to me, he just cried. Like, why are you crying so much for me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's typically because of how I was raised. A boy, a man should not be crying. But then on the flip side, we got a whole bunch of angry men who do not know how to get in tune with their emotions except for being happy and angry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they can't
and
cry.
Where did that start? Like, yeah, like where did that start? Like, did it start?
Ego. Yeah, it's an ego trip. That's what it's all about. Ego. That's what it is. And we're taught that. It's
So
sad.
I mean, so the question is, where did it start? Like, because I have seen Caucasian men cry, no problem. Is it a problem for me? Yeah, because to be honest, I'm judging you. Like, you're a whole man, you should not be crying, you know. But like, where did that start at? Like, it came from somewhere. And I can't even say it was an ego thing. It had to have been somebody who came to like, you not supposed, what is you crying for? I take your balls away from you or something. Like, where did that come from?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Where did it come from? Me personally, I cry, snot and everything. I let it all out. I don't care.
I'm like, you crazy because as a man, you should not be crying. Like, you know?
They don't punch the holes in the wall.
But that's what I mean with the double standards lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I tell my boys, you if you got a reason to cry, baby, cry. You know, but at the same time,
it's okay not to be okay, folks. It's okay not to be okay. It's good. You're not okay. It's all right. It's good to be that way. Exactly.
That's what you say. But yeah, like that, and that's, I mean, but that's what I believe, and I think that's where. And again, I know we touching on a lot of things, but hey, let's talk about it. Whatever. That's right. That's right. That's where lies the difference between the gay feminine man. This is what the masculine man has a problem with the gay feminine man, because he is in tune with his feminine side, which sometimes may be way too much. You know what I'm saying? Right. But who are we to judge? But at the same time, that man does not know how to get in tune with his own. You know what I'm saying? With his own self. Right. Or, for instance, I can recall a time when I grew up and my brother was playing with my grandmother's shoes. Or, you know, playing with female shoes. And my grandfather got on him. Men are supposed to do men things, or boys supposed to do boy things, and girls supposed to do girl things. And that even happens in my household, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel you. I mean, I won't go out and buy my son a doll and a tutu dress and like, do what you want to be, you know. But at the same time, it's like, if you want a fucking doll, then all right, you'll go buy it. You know, I may shave the hair off of it, but you know. But it's just that thing is written in our DNA, is written in our heritage, it's a hand-me-down, and it's ego. It's ego. You know, most men, all men got ego problems. I don't care who they are. You know, gay string.
I mean, it's not just men who have ego problems, because like I keep telling you, this stuff that I'm going on, man, I have to tell his ego. And that's what our ego is, our protector. So it's like, but man, it's hard. Hard.
Yeah, I know. But you know, we get that topic some other time.
yeah, definitely.
We get that topic some other time when it's the right time, when the moon's right, and you know, and the sun, the earth, you know.
But that's what I'm saying when I say, like, when you say that God could be a woman, well, then where did this masculinity come from? Because you saying, well, why do women let men lead? But it is definitely taught like that. Like as much as we have some strong women, even those strong women who have them weak men, be like, man, like why can't he lead? You know what I'm saying? So where did it come from?
Yeah. Exactly. It's we have about thousands and thousands, if not millions of years, to find the origin of that. And again, like I said, some of the powers to be have these text information that everybody's asking, but it's in their home, the private safes, private museums, and you and I would never see the light of those information, because they don't want to give us anything. They take from us, they don't want to give us anything.
Well, I do know that some things are slipping through the cracks. They are coming to light. They slipping.
Yeah, because a lot of them lizards are dying, and things are changing. You know, everything's changing. That's what's happening, and they're trying. You know, when people. When a certain type of entity comes to its end, it takes all it can take. You know, you go to the party and at the party you run around trying to take everything. You know, get everything you get before we leave, but we ain't leaving nothing. And that's what's happening in the world. Things are changing. Everybody's starting to wake up. So now these powers to be either trying to get off the planet, you know, or try to bob a whole bunch of stuff to control it to get back what they're losing, and it's inevitable. They're going to lose it. And that's how it is. Those, I believe, are the end days. People talk about the end days. I don't think about our end days or the end days of the human race. I think the end days are coming for the powers to be because they are in control. It's their end days, not ours. We're going to be
this is
here.
why we have a new heaven and a new earth.
Exactly. And what's going on is that they're giving out the disinformation. And they go, well, Jesus is going to come back and all will see him, blah, 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 blah. And then, we're duped right back to square one again.
Yeah, but then they have these things that they're trying to, or what I would presume that they're trying to make this happen, because it's like everybody will see, and it's like, well, if the world is round, how is everybody going to see? That's one thing. We can go there another day.
Yeah,
but then another thing is, then
they really going to shut us down now.
I'm not. Oh, then another thing is like you have you're strategically throwing stuff out there. Oh, we have this hologram that what is it called? The blue what?
Project Bluebeam.
Yeah. Okay, so we got this hologram that could be so high in the sky that everybody can see it. You know what I'm saying? But everybody is not paying attention to this message. So therefore, if it's a thing that comes through the clouds with the chariots and all that stuff,
yeah, exactly. It's funny though, but here's the thing about that. Let's take the most simplest thing, right, and apply it to the human and their emotions and their imagination. Right? Let's just say right now, this very second, that all cell phones around the world just stop working, cut off, instantly, done, it's over, right? Mm-hmm. You know, much as I definitely know, that there will be rioting, fighting, looting, everything's going on. People shoot each other, all this kind of stuff.
Just we wouldn't know what to do anymore.
Right, exactly. So how easy is it to launch Project Bluebeam and say, "Oh, here comes the aliens," or "Here comes Jesus," and everybody do the exact same thing, if not worse. You know. And there we have the burning buildings and people are dying and all that kind of stuff like that. And this is the end days because we just saw Jesus in the clouds and everybody's going crazy and dropped their knees. People killing themselves. People kill themselves over comets. Comets are frozen rocks flying over your head. You want to kill yourself, then this rock's going to take your spirit to the next dimension or the next heaven or whatever it may be. Like you crazy? What was the point of you being born then? That doesn't make sense.
We don't know the answer. Do you know?
No.
Do you know why you were born?
What? No, I had no idea. But I want to talk to
you know where you were before you were born?
At McDonald's. Eating a cheese meal.
I know that God said that. Well, according to the Bible scripture, which I do believe this part, it says that I knew you before you knew that you existed. And let's be honest. For me, I can kind of remember things when I was a little kid, like just little teeny things that I did, or maybe an event or two. But I really don't remember being in existence until I was 5 years old. My fifth birthday party, I remember,
which is most people.
Alicia,
yes, most people. That's exactly how they are. And anything from that point on back is very vague or dark. It's just like it doesn't exist at all. You just appeared in reality. So
but then you watch the thing though, babe. If anybody ever watched it, I'm really not gonna link this one, but I did link the other one on the last video we did. But if anybody watched Baby Genius, have you ever watched that before?
Yes.
Watch it with Dylan. And it's like these babies have and we can do this experiment today and put two little ones side by side. They may not play together, but they'll have a whole conversation that we don't understand. Sounds like gibberish and blab to us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they have a whole conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
And then after that,
their language. What language is that? What language is that? I said that many years ago. You put a bunch of, because I know, I always been around a lot of kids, and I always know the babies, when they lock eyes with each other, they give these different sounds and hoots and da da da, and they will the baby will do a sound, and that baby will react to the sound as if not just normal reaction, a reaction like, I understood what you just said. Here's my reply, and I picked that up, and I was saying, well, what was our original language before we speak this? What we're speaking now? How far back does Babel go?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
So yeah, I agree with you totally. Like you put some siblings. It now you have to be siblings. Take one baby from one part of the world, take another baby from one part of the world, and put them together, and they acknowledge each other, and they will have a whole conversation. A whole
And
conversation.
even
And
cry in
parents,
syncly, get hungry in syncly. Like,
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's amazing. It's right in front of our face. We just don't pay attention because again, we were institutionalized to the baby cries, they're either hungry, sleepy, soiled their pamper, they need to be burped.
do you think the babies
This is what
be
we're
telling
taught.
each other where they came from and
Yeah.
what their intention
Hey,
of here
what's
is
this
to
place
be?
I'm at right now? Who that right there, man? I don't know what it is, man. Hey, can you hear me? Hey,
Where you
Tony,
come
those you
from?
young.
What you
Yeah,
supposed to be doing when you
yeah.
get here?
How you
Oh,
got
I'm
here,
supposed to
man?
be
I
doing
got
this.
shot right here, man. Now I'm here in this motherfucker. I got pee, man. What the? They having a whole conversation in that bedroom, right? And then as they get older, they need that language, and they look at us like, what? Like what are we talking about? And then it's just it's something else. I don't know. We got to dig deeper. We're gonna die researching all this stuff. We're gonna die. We're not gonna be here for long. Not live long enough. Unless I can
Well,
transfer
we
my.
won't. But if we're curious, if we're curious and we're at this age, these younger ones, they're very curious and they have the internet at the tip of their fingers and they gonna research it to the depth. You got the readers out here that's going to
Yeah,
read and research everything from every part of the earth and put that on the internet, and they will eventually put all those things together. That's
right.
just like I think I sent it to you where we're actually supposed to be green
Yes. Some children are
and we're
born.
just rusted.
Yeah. We were actually born. Some of us born with green patches, especially the melanated people are born with certain type of green patches, and then those green patches turn to a darker patch in the body. If you ever see a melanated person, their butts or their certain parts of the joints are darker than the rest of their body, and everything that falls into with the reptilians and stuff like that. We can get to another podcast on that one, but that's the whole thing about society and everything. What we're taught. Again, going back on our children, now that I'm older and I'm into a lot of things I'm into, we actually rob our kids of a lot. And even you're guilty of this too. So let's just say, children, our kids are natural scientists, natural explorers. They are absorbing things around us, but we teach them to put on shoes, keep your clothes clean, brush your teeth, do this, do that. Don't go outside because it's too cold. Don't go outside too hot. Don't go out in that dirt because you're gonna get dirty. As if it's all bad for them. And it's really not. Um, I'm gonna give you a good example, a good story. So I was sitting at Rudders, which is down the road from me. On one of my breaks, I drive trucks, so I had to take a break, and I took a break, and I'm sitting there eating my sandwich, and it was a rainstorm had just passed by, um, and everything. So the ground, everything was wet, soaked with water. So as I'm sitting there eating my chicken wrap and French fries and everything, I notice a black SUV pulls up. Lady gets out of the car, right? So obviously, I'm checking her out. I am, right? Checking the lady out. So she goes to the back of the car, open up the door, and a little girl popped up. She had to be about 3, 4 years old, maybe a little younger. She had on the cutest little poncho, rain poncho, and the matching purplish type boots. Almost same color as your rag, the same color boots. They're very pretty. The mom gets out of the back of the car, and mom gets out of the back of the car. The little girl looks over. Now I'm watching this. Little girl looks over, and there's a big puddle of water right there at the parking lot. Little girl is looking at this puddle of water. And I'm in the truck going, go for it, girl. Go for it. Go for it. And I was very excited, like, go for it. But mom was not paying attention. Well, the little girl darted towards the water. And she's running full speed. Little teeny kid now. She's running full speed. And as she launched into the air to plant both feet into that water, mom caught her midstream, grabbed her, pulled her back, and pulled her around to the side of the car, made her sit there. And I'm looking like, why did you stop her? What? This little like as a parent, you understand that mother and her situation as a parent. All you do. So, but me, I'm like, you just robbed that child of some type of science, so that she would never. There's a question in her head. What would happen if I jump in that water? That's the question of cause and effect. Had that little girl would have landed in the water, she'd have witnessed the water separating for her feet, going out to its furthest point, and then coming back. She'd have had questions about that.
And wetting her all the way up.
No, who cares?
And then she would have to get in the car all wet.
No.
And guess what? Her mom would have to deal with her maybe being sick.
Because mama is lazy and I don't care to hear that. No, she stripped that child based off the institution bullcrap that we were taught. That's what it was. That is, let these kids jump in there. Let them leap. I brought Dylan a paint set, a full 18 set paint set. The thing about the paint set is that it's washable, it's damn near eatable, non-toxic, nothing like that. And he had it on the floors, on the walls, what is it like that? You know what I'm saying? That's what he does. He was exploring what his mind was asking him to explore, his curiosity. This is what makes him him. This is what makes us us. This is what makes me me. I used to take things apart all the time. Brand new, I'll take it apart. Even as a teenager, I'll take it apart to see what it looked like on the inside. I want to take my cell phone apart and see what makes it work. Because I don't know what makes this thing work. You understand? And that right there would cause us to be who we are. But being institutionalized, become these, which is 80% of the population, we're learned to work, pay taxes, get old, shut your mouth, and die. That society.
That's not
that
necessarily true. Some of us find a hobby.
Find a slight distraction so you won't ask questions like we're asking now. Like, who's Jesus? You know? Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Don't ever question that. Don't ever question that. Got it. Are you still there?
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm
no,
just
you
saying.
really be testing it. You really be testing.
How long have we been friends? How long have we been friends? Let's see.
About 16 years.
The next, Kylie's 18 now. She 18 now. Dasani's 20-some years old. Like, oh my God.
DJ and John are 16. So about 16 years now.
I remember DJ when he was like, "Have this Gibson," like little teeny old thing. Like, God damn.
It's been a long time.
Long time. Like you know that I was like, I don't know who taught me this. I'm gonna say nobody taught me. I think this is all instinct because this is even when I started recognizing, I always had questions. Like when I was a kid, my mom used to give me spankings for doing certain little bad things and stuff like that. You know, kid stuff. And I would ask my mom after the butt whipping, "Why'd you beat me?" All I do was tell me, and then she'd beat me again. You know what I mean? Like, don't question me why I do this. I beat you because you were bad, but you could have talked to me. And this is when I was a young kid. You don't have to hit me. Just talk to me. I don't have to talk to her. You know, of course, that was her era, how she disciplined children because she was disciplined that way, if not worse. You know, and so and so that was always with me the way I am now. You know, with everything in my life, you know, I take time and I start like, what is this? Does it kill me? You know, it might kill me, but it tastes pretty good. You know, whatever the case may be. And yeah, it's just different things and stuff, you know. But I think that we all need to wake up and you know, realize that this matrix that we're living in, you know, at the end, like Steve Jobs said before he died, if you all know who Steve Jobs is, the guy who with Apple and everything, he said before on his deathbed, out of all my success that I've done and all my things that I've done and made, I'm still gonna die. It doesn't make a sense. It doesn't make a difference. It's over. Everything he's ever done, all the adventures, everything you and I own right now, everything, he gone. You know, so there's a bigger picture. There's a bigger picture than going to work every day, making money, raising your kid. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than all of them. What is it? Because we're only here that long. Where are we going? Where we come from? Egyptians talk about, the Mayans talk about death doesn't exist. How'd they know that? Where'd they go? Where did the Mayans go?
We're not supposed to listen to the Egyptians because the commandments say.
Mm-hmm.
In the Bible, it does seem like the Egyptians was pretty bad, though. They served a bunch of different gods. It's vague about stuff. They had slaves. You know what I'm saying? They had slaves.
Yeah, according to man telling us a story. Let's go find the original writings of the Egyptians, because a lot of people say the Egyptians, there was a full blown society. During the times of the Egyptians, during the time of Noah, you think that they didn't have cell phones, cars, trains, boats, planes, and everything else?
Well, I did see some of the
where did this technology come from?
They only let us see but so much, right? So
yeah,
even if we go there, we would legitly have to find someone that is from there who would be willing, you know what I'm saying, to give us the full blown history. But I have seen some of the clippings, and I think I seen some today, where the carvings in the wall, it showed that it was tanks and helicopters and all those different types of things. And it's like, how do they know that? Because this stuff is new to us.
Exactly. So you gotta think about something though. Like, because you gotta really think about this, right? Let's use my timeline, my personal timeline. I am today 52 years old. Okay, so if I go back to my earliest memory as a young man or young kid, I remember the 8-track. You know what an 8-track is, right? It's like a cassette player. You know what a cassette player is, but it's a big 8-track, big square box. You plug it in and it plays music, or whatever the case may be. This was before DVDs. This was before the only camera we had back then.
Now today everything.
You know what it is? Okay. Right.
So it was the 8-track.
Google it.
It was the vinyl. It was the CDs. It was the cassette tapes.
It was cassettes. It wasn't even cassettes when I'm going back on my timeline. There were no cassettes. There were no CDs.
That's what I just said. I said it was 8-tracks, which is
8-track, right?
The
vinyl records.
Okay.
Yep. Then it was the only type of camera. We had to buy the flash and screw it in. Polaroid, like that. So on my timeline alone, being at the age of 52, I literally lived through sticks and stones to cell phone. Literally. In 52 little years. Sticks and stones to cell phones. Within that small time, from wired communications to fiber optics to RFGs, where did we get this technology from? Was it rediscovered, or some human sat there, invented it, and go, oh yeah, I invented this? We go back to Tesla, okay, where he invented the ham radio and everything else that he's responsible for here. Anything got a motor, any refrigerator, microwaves, anything got a motor on it, Tesla technology. Tesla. Where did he? You know what he said in his book? He got his knowledge from aliens. He communicated with them telepathically, and he wrote it down on paper and invented it. Go read it.
So the question is this, because we do know. I don't know how much we know. I know it's in the Bible somewhere. But instincts, let's just say instincts. Because it could be something that somebody told us. It could be from the Bible. It could be from other books, whatever the case may be. Instincts tells us that what we would call evil, right? It says the world today will be, or when Jesus comes back, will be as it was in the days of Noah. What were they possibly doing? Because you have to realize, after Noah and the flood, Earth then had to repopulate again. So they say, right?
So what was the days of Noah like?
Wait a minute. We don't have a timeline from the time of Noah till it repopulated again. Not really. We got a tree, but we don't really know how many people was repopulating Earth. But they built the tower? What were they building that tower for? For another flood? for them to be saved, because if you want to be technical, if they were building it up, some people were still going to drown. Or were they building it for the sake of they were trying to get into heaven? And then how are we going to do that if we're not connected to God like that? So they
And
had
actually, we are connected to God. God never lost connection. We were there in the beginning, right along with. That's why I know, but that's why God said, I know you before you knew yourself. You were already there. We were there in the beginning. But that's right there. See, right there tells us that we were there with God in the beginning. In the beginning, we were there. That's why God knew us before we even knew ourselves. We were there. It's right there. The powers that be. I don't blame the powers that be too much, because they do leave crumbs and cookies and parts.
They got to tell the truth.
Yeah, they have to. They have to. That's part of their contract. That's why Satan runs off of contracts. That's how it works. Satan says, I'll give you this if you do this, but first sign this contract. Sign this contract. So that means Satan doesn't have no power over anybody unless we agree upon it and sign that contract. So Satan can't walk in my house and says, I'm taking your soul. I'm gonna laugh at him. Fuck you. I'm not signing that contract.
I'm just really curious about how. I mean,
Oops.
I never thought about it. No, for real. Because I used to be into the truth about hip hop with G. Craig Lewis. Shout out to you, because you are very informative in the craft that you are in. You know what I'm saying? But right. it really make you be like, now, for me, it's like, how does one sell their soul? Like,
exactly.
Where does it go? Because the devil is roaming the earth. So where does your soul legitly go when you sell it?
Right. Exactly. I
don't know.
Whew, boy, this was a good one today.
I guess. Although we've been all over the place.
Right. So that's our normal conversation anyway.
Yeah. This is true. You got anything else you want to talk about, or we gonna call it as a close today?
All right, yeah, we better call it as a close before I start drinking again and start talking stuff to get somebody in trouble.
Anyway.
Okay. Oh man,
I have no clue what you're talking about, but anyway.
Oh,
we're going to call it night, you guys.
Call night.
Good, great, excellent day.
Right. I got something to
Versus
say.
will be on in about 46 minutes, so that's what I'm going to. I might go on live on my other channel, Consistence Keys, on YouTube, if you guys want to hang with me there to watch the verses. What are you about to do, Lil?
I'm about to sit here and drink this yak and talk to God.
All right, T. And on that note, good night. We love you all.
See ya.